Hello, Aries, and welcome to your April forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's good to see you. Thank you for being patient here. I'm trying to get all of these out in the first week of the month. I had a leak in my air conditioner, which is why we're a couple days late. But nonetheless, you're starting it off this month since you wrapped it up last month. As always, you can use this for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. I'm going for a slightly more abbreviated version this month so we can get it all out on time. So thank you for your patience. All right, with that being said, let's get into your channeled messages for this month. As I was tuning into your sign, I kept seeing someone like cooking, a chef, putting together all of the ingredients. The interesting thing with cooking is when you're starting a new recipe, there is a period of trial and error. And it's not about getting it perfect on the first time. It's about tasting, learning, adjusting, and eventually you get that perfect recipe. Make sure that you're taking notes as you're moving through this month. There are certain things, certain approaches in your sort of path that are going to require flexibility, and then once you've kind of created that perfect recipe, precision and repetition. So if you're trying to learn something new, practice makes perfect. Experimentation is going to lead you to that perfect recipe. And then once you've got it, stick with it. The other thing when I'm thinking of cooking is tasting, enjoying, sort of being very present. And I'm just as guilty as the next person of this, but sometimes we just go through life like, 80 miles an hour, trying to go as fast as we can. It's important to pause, drink in the moment. Even a hummingbird takes a moment sometimes to sit down and just drink the nectar, right? So what you could drink in this month are experiences that bring you joy, spending time with people in your life that you care about. Also drinking in and sort of digesting all that you've learned, all that you've done, so that as you take off and embark on the next chapter, you're doing so from a place of reflection, restoration, making sure that you've had time to rest and recuperate. And then again, you're going to have that perfect plan or perfect recipe because you've been paying attention. So with all of that being said, let's go ahead now and give the cards a shuffle and see what's coming through for this month. Again, we're new format. We're changing up the format, but change is good. So let's take a look. Take a moment, please. Close your eyes. See a perfect circle of light around your body. You can imagine that the sun is shining overhead, connecting you to source and allowing for the highest messages to come forth. We'll welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. All right, let's begin with your catalyst card. The catalyst is the deer, and the message here is around power. It's very hard to see that little word, but with this card in the reverse position, there may be a feeling of hesitation, uncertainty, particularly when it comes to the solar plexus and activating in any sort of thing that you're trying to do. So communicating your desires or getting started on something. Some of this comes from a desire to clarify your direction or your path. And once you've done that, I think that some of the momentum will follow. Deer are also easily startled. And so one of the things that you want to try to keep in check this month is a feeling of fight or flight, or again, emotions sort of creating this paralysis. Like you can create all of these thoughts. What if this happens? What if that happens? And it kind of creates the math meme that I'll always pull up where it feels like you just get overwhelmed. So breathe, ground yourself, take one step at a time, and don't be afraid to connect with your inner power. The antlers on the deer also represent connection to source, tuning in. Listen to what other people are saying. Pay attention to what's going on around you. A lot of the opportunity and a lot of the lessons that are incoming are going to be subtle and require, I mentioned like taking a moment to drink it all in. That's exactly what this is connected to. All right, as we take a look at the spread here, most of the cards are manageable, but we do have something really interesting in the environment with the tower. So I'll try to help us navigate around that, but I'd like to begin with the two bears here at the center, the first of which is a representation of Queen of Pentacles. This bear in the reverse position is protecting something, and it's very much mama bear energy. So imagining a mother with a newborn, she really protects that. And there might be something in your life that you have just created, birthed, or you're about to put out into the world. And that figurative baby of yours, it's hard to let go. It's hard to see it get out there on its own. But it does feel like for some of you, it's ready. And to go back to the sort of cooking metaphor, if you leave something too long cooking in the oven or baking on, or like boiling on the stove, it can be overdone. So recognize internally when something is ready to release, because this card, when reversed, can represent controlling something too much, trying to take on too much energy. So this is also workaholic energy. Queen of Pentacles is about money, resources, time, and energy. So in the effort to be everything to everyone, sometimes it gets the better of you, and you can even get grumpy like this bear, right? And you might lose your temper. So a reverse Queen of Pentacles needs to learn to nurture themselves, to say no, not to take on so much so that their cart is overfilling rather for all of the responsibilities that they have. And that delegation, discernment, and just responsibility is going to go a long way. And again, if there's something that you're trying to perfect, it's probably already done. Let it go, move on. And there may be some familial ties that are coming through, or power dynamics. So when it comes to parents and children, the roles may be reversing, or there might be a desire for more freedom on either end of the spectrum, and it's just about having a heart-to-heart conversation. In relationships, power dynamics are at play, same thing in work and school. So it's really about having firm boundaries, setting clear expectations, taking care of yourself, okay? With that being said, overall, I like the Queen of Pentacles because she can create and generate resources and ideas, and she's very resourceful, making do with whatever she has, okay? But try to avoid the over-controlling and perfectionist energy of a reversed Queen of Pentacles. Another bear sits atop that one, and it is the Judgment card, or the Great Bear in this particular deck. So the way this card is organized is we see a portal in front of you, and there's a bear guarding it, and it's not trying to scare you away, but rather it's saying, are you ready? This is more the universe coming through like the angel in the traditional deck, and it's basically saying, now's the time. Are you ready? Behind the bear is an aurora borealis. So there's a shifting of energy, a shifting of maybe even what your goals, interests, dreams might be because of some experiences that you just went through. Because this card beneath it is about birthing, the reversal of this can be about reinvention or rebirthing. This card, of course, is about souls rising up from the dead and renewal. So this is a chance for you to think way outside of the box. Whatever previous version of yourself used to exist, you're not beholden to it unless you feel like that's all I can do. Don't box yourself in. Be willing to go into the unknown, which is the Great Bear here, and know that you're going to be okay. This is the awakening after hibernation. And we are just entering into a season change right now. So just like a season takes a few weeks to fully reveal its energy, most of this month is going to be the awakening. Each day, I feel like you're going to get a little bit more clarity. In relationships, this is karma. And this is a chance to resolve karma. The Judgment card reminds you not to judge yourself or others too harshly. That also means don't beat yourself up if you've made a mistake. You're not perfect. None of us are. We're all on this planet to learn. I was just talking to a really close friend that we don't get graded like you do in traditional schools. If you learned, you passed. If you learned from an experience. And you can always do better in the future. And if you stop beating yourself up and start acclimating and evolving, you're good to go, okay? There might be a big decision on your shoulders. You might also be waiting to hear back from someone. The fact that this is a crossing card tells me that things are good. It's really just a matter of acceptance. So if someone's made a decision to do something and they're not open to your feedback, just accept that they have free will. If you've on an internal level decided that you want to do something but your head is getting in the way, trust your instincts. The decision has been made, the plan is in front of you, and the path is in front of you. All that's required in this moment is acceptance, which oftentimes is the hardest part. Let's take a look at what's coming through in the deep past here. We have the Five of Wands, which is encouraging you to rise up above any sort of conflict that might be in your life and focus, just like that archer, on something that really deserves your attention. This is a sharp contrast to the traditional card where we see basically duplication of effort, conflict, people kind of like doing the same thing and not really getting anywhere. So what we want to do is transmute the energy here and collaborate, communicate, and try to find a way to diffuse and maybe even alchemize some of that energy of conflict. That's where the archer comes through. This is leading the way to the Six of Wands, which is success. Someone has to be the force of direction and saying, wait a second, slow down. I think we have a common goal or interest. Let's try this instead. So this is a chance to go more into the directional and sort of leadership energy and less into this sort of karmic energy of maybe just spinning your wheels in the mud, right? There are some things that just aren't worth the time and energy, and this is encouraging you to be discerning. In the recent past, we have the Woodward reversed. This deck swaps 8 and 11, so this would be strength. What I like about this interpretation of strength is there's really no energy of one person winning and the other losing or domination. Instead, we have cooperation, collaboration, just like I was talking about. And if we imagine that the skin that he's wearing there on his head is kind of like putting yourself in someone else's shoes, that's the way to find middle ground or compromise, is to get both people to kind of meet in the middle and try to understand what the other person is thinking. This, of course, is a lot easier than what we see in the traditional card where someone has to tame the lion, put their hand in the lion's mouth and get it to agree. You can always typically win with the strength card, but at a cost. And it's not something that is typically sustainable, particularly when it's reversed. Now, a couple of other things to think about before I move on from this card. Don't let somebody put words in your mouth, and don't put words in someone else's mouth. Clear communication, making sure that both of you are on the same page, is going to be essential. This will help avoid future conflict as well. What I like about this is the collaboration, cooperation, and compromise energy. If you can meet in the middle, you can get something done here. Now, focusing on reading this more at face value. Strength, when reversed, can represent a feeling of fatigue or weakness. And if you've been burning yourself out or being a workaholic, like we see in this card, then there's a payoff here eventually, or trade-off, where you're just going to need to rest and recalibrate and recuperate. Otherwise, eventually, there may be sickness or frustration or even like a temper sort of energy that comes through where you just lose your patience. So pause, refresh, take a day off if you need to. You're going to be so much better for it. Before we move on, let's say hello to Apollo. Hey, buddy, you're hiding back there. Who's a good boy? Yes, thank you so much. Good boy. All right, we'll let him be and get back to the reading here. All right, in the crowning position here, we have the Five of Swords. I think they did a great job illustrating this card because the goat in the middle is very carefully kind of like dodging all of those arrows. And absolutely, it can feel like frustration sometimes, right? In this moment in time, Five of Swords, by the way, is usually when someone doesn't want to listen. Maybe someone is even trying to gaslight you or they're argumentative. And it's really important to maneuver through that and not take the bait. Sometimes you just dodge the call or dodge the conversation because you know it's not going to be worth your time and energy. That's especially clear in this version here where we just see someone with a headache as they're thinking about that person or that conversation. My advice here would be don't give that too much mental real estate. This can also be the inner saboteur coming through, and like that little crow or raven, it's whispering things like, you can't do this, you're not good enough, it's never going to happen. And this is probably from someone in your past who just couldn't see, didn't have the imagination, didn't have the faith and belief in you. You owe it to yourself to rise above, to dodge those thoughts, to transmute it. We do see an archer here that can also represent you trying to find your way around that. So stay clear, stay on path, and don't sweat the small stuff, or again, try to please everyone. There's always going to be someone complaining, and that can be this card as well. We have a celebratory card in the near future, which means that towards the middle to end of this month, there should be some good news. One thing worth noting is Three of Cups is often a card of courtship, and there can sometimes be this desire to rush to the finish line, to get clarity immediately without getting to know an opportunity, a person, an experience, whatever it is that's in front of you. You need to give it time to unfold. Let's not overlook the joy part of this card too. Have some fun. Make room for things that make you happy. Life is not supposed to be all about working and struggling and toiling. I mean, I think that's been hammered into our minds over the last century, but I hope that as we're now in the 21st century, we're starting to see that joy, relaxation, embracing just the moment is so important, because we have no guarantee about how many days we're on the planet. Every moment, every day should be lived to the maximum. And this card, at its core, is about having some fun and spending time with people that you love. If you're looking for love, this is good. If you're in a relationship, this is great. It's about connecting. Even for friendships, this can represent the sort of appearance of somebody brand new. Get out there, network, connect, mix and mingle. Only good things can come from that, particularly in the position that it's in. All right, let's see how you're coming through this month. We have the Page of Swords, but the card is in the reverse position. Pages, of course, are great at communicating, but whenever a page is reversed, it's about pausing and listening. Swords in particular. This is making sure that you heard someone else correctly and you're not jumping to a conclusion, and vice versa. If you're doing the communicating, pause, ask for feedback, double check and say, does this make sense? Or I just want to make sure that we're on the same page with this, this, and this. So that active listening, that constructive criticism, the feedback that you're giving each other is going to ensure that we avoid the tower, which is coming next. I think that a simple check-in can really, really help here. A Page of Swords in reverse can also just be super direct and to the point, saying, no, I don't want this, or creating a boundary, or asking a question because something isn't clear, saying, wait, I'm confused. What do you mean by that? So get in, get out, get to the point, and that's going to save you time, energy, and possibly what we see in the environment, an argument or a fallout here, okay? Now, the tower is a multifaceted symbol. Because it's in the environment, this may be something completely out of your control, which takes some of the pressure off of you. An environmental tower can be any one of the following. First, it can just be noise. I have to have my window open right now because my AC is broken, so there's more external noise. So it can literally be the noise around you. It can be someone's argumentative nature, someone that's distracting you with their own sort of problems. So it can be a person, it can be a sound, it can also be the overall environment. And when I get it in the environment, it's a nudge from spirit to clean and clear. So if your house has a lot of stuff or your desk is kind of messed up, this card is saying, let's create some order, let's clear it out. And if there are things in your life that no longer serve your highest good, whether it's a belonging or it's a relationship, this is a get real moment with spirit, and it's saying, let's clear it out because it's taking your balance away. And that's what we see here with the person falling out of the tree. So the good news about a tower in the environment is you should get some warning signs. There's a flash of lightning, the sound of thunder, and the rumble of thunder long before the storm arises or comes to your particular spot. So that thunder or lightning can represent someone whispering something to you and saying, hey, are you aware of this? It can be your third eye, your intuition, your gut instinct saying, the hairs on your hand sort of standing up and knowing that something isn't right. Trust that, whatever that is for you. Once you know that there's something coming, you can change direction, change course, or lean into the change so that you can be a part of something bigger. In a company or a business, this can often be mergers, takeovers, layoffs, changes in structure like reorganization. It's around you. You may be able to slightly affect it, but overall, it's out of your control. So just be environmentally aware, reduce distractions, clean your house, clean your relationships a bit, and then when something happens, also steer clear. So if there's something kind of volatile or chaotic going on in the environment, it's not always in your best interest to kind of like dive in and try and fix it. Let people clean up their own messes sometimes. That's a line actually from Practical Magic, which is near and dear to me. The aunts tell the girls to relay that to their mothers. They're like, clean up your own mess. This is beyond us. They wanted to teach them a lesson. But it's also a great way to make sure that codependencies are cut off. So if someone is relying too much or putting too much on your plate, this is a chance for you to create better boundaries and distance, okay? I think we described that as much as we could. Now let's take a look at hopes, fears, and opportunities. It's a chance to daydream and to dream beyond the moment. One of my favorite cards in the minors is this, the Two of Wands. And I wouldn't think of it so much as a decision as much as a dreaming, planning, and envisioning card. And through that, you can decide. But first you have to dream, then you can decide. With the card in the reverse position, some of you are denying yourself chances to look beyond the moment. And it's possibly because the moment's distracting, right? This is the world that we live in right now. It changes every day. We can't allow ourselves to lose our balance, and we can't forget about setting some goalposts for ourselves in the future, because there will be a time where it's not so chaotic, and you will be happy that you've continued to work towards goals and dreams. So pause and think about what the next step could be for yourself. I often connect the Two of Wands to the Magician and the High Priestess because it doesn't just empower the cards, it often ignites them all together. Because when you can see beyond what's in front of you, you become the High Priestess. You start to manifest, or you become the Magician and you roll up your sleeves and you create. So work your magic right now and dream about something that isn't in your life. You have to see it like science fiction. You have to dream it before we actually bring it into fact and reality. And the final card is a sort of like perspective shift or a paradigm shift. It's one of the most beautiful Five of Cups. Typically, the Five of Cups is a card of mourning. This is more like awake. So I'll pull the traditional mourning card while we're talking. What happens in the Five of Cups is something doesn't work as you expected. And whenever this happens in our lives, we can sometimes be really hard on ourselves, thinking, if only I had done this or known that. And, you know, there's a time and place for that kind of thought, but it doesn't really create sustainable forward growth or momentum. You kind of get stuck in the moment. And in the Five of Cups, there's always 3 cups that are down, and that's could have, would have, should have. And there's 2 cups that are upright, and I found it here. So here's the could have, would have, should have, and there's the, wait a second, there's something bigger and better. There's someone right there that wants to reach out and give you something. There's also a bridge in the background, a bridge over troubled water, and it's saying that today may be a little bit messy like the tower. Today may be a little bit intense, but tomorrow will surpass your expectations. So what you need to do today is to sit with the emotions for a moment. Allow them to flow through you, not take you with them. It's sort of like being in the shower, and the shower head is kind of like, you know, constantly barraging you with water, but you stand still and you let the water go down your back. That's kind of what the Five of Cups is inviting you to do. And when it's done, you're clear, you're clean, you're better for the experience. And this is the wake, the celebration. I got through it. I did it. She's not letting one thing kind of like get her down. She's saying, I survived that. That's worth celebrating. Could I have done better? Maybe. Will I do better next time? Absolutely. And I'm so happy that I get a chance to do that. So look at the cups as being like half full rather than half empty, and focus on what you can control rather than what could have, should have, or would have been. All right, executive decision. I'm going to go ahead and pull 1 card for health, wealth, love, and destiny. We already have destiny here. Health, wealth, love, and destiny. And we're just going to go quicker through these because I've got a lot of videos to do and I want to get them all out in the next few days. For health, it's about healing, folks. The Three of Swords comes through after something has been difficult, and we've had a few of these pivot cards with particularly the Five of Cups. And this was encouraging you to look at the cup as being half full. So with this, if there's something in your heart that's still kind of sitting there and you can't get through it on your own, reach out to someone, talk to someone, a friend, a therapist, a parent, or someone in your life that can help you, a teacher or mentor. This is going to help you learn and see the silver lining to what's going on. The Three of Swords also is kind of like the final straw in a situation that gives you permission to move on. Sometimes we need a disappointment or setback to free us from a person, place, or thing, or an attachment that no longer serves its highest good. In general health, this is stress management, it's heartache, and it can also be paying attention to things like blood pressure, blood sugar, and also just cardiovascular fitness and health. So work with your doctor if any of these things ring true for you. Take care of yourself, be gentle with yourself, and focus on healing first and foremost. Moving on from health to wealth. In wealth, we have the Page of Wands in the reverse position. This is really about overthinking things, overcomplicating things. So whatever you're doing with your business, with your money, with your sort of like personal growth, it feels like there's too much energy going into fears, anxieties, and thoughts. And more needs to happen in just sort of like the creation or the flow. Because in the upright position, Page of Wands is about bringing an idea into the world, sketching it out, talking it out, demonstrating it, just being it, embodying it. And what happens with this sometimes is you're too much in your head about what people might think. So whether you're working or a student or retired, there needs to be this liberation in being your own person without feeling like you have to meet the expectations of someone else. We saw a little bit of that with the Strength card earlier. There's a lot of people that may think that they know what's best for you and how best you should kind of move into your next chapter, but you're the co-author with God and the universe. You get to decide whatever that's going to look like, okay? Let's move on to love and relationships here. The Guardian. This is the Devil card in this particular deck. And isn't it interesting how it's just a skeleton? Skeletons don't really hold a lot of power. They're scary looking, but they're just a bunch of bones. And this also reminds us that everyone has a skeleton in their closet, something that they haven't fully put out on show. So when we worry about somebody having more power or being stronger or trying to meet up to someone's expectations, it's really important to know that nobody is absolutely perfect. And that's what I'm getting with this. And that's kind of like a common denominator here. The strongest among us will just admit that we're learning, that we're beautifully flawed, and we can work through that, okay? Other sort of messages coming through with the Devil in reverse. If somebody can't give you what you need, go in another direction. That's a blessing to know. They may come through and articulate you can do better or that they're not good enough for you. Take them at their word. Say, thank you. I'm not going to argue. If a contract is not good enough, a marriage contract or a business contract, or someone in your life tries to get you to do something and every fiber of your being says no, that person is not someone that you should really be focusing on. A lie can grow into the devil energy unless you just come forth and say, there's something that I've been meaning to tell you and I'm sorry I haven't sooner. Get that energy out on the table. Honesty, transparency, and clarity. That is how you can transmute this. And unconditional love. If there's any blocks in any of your core relationships where somebody isn't happy with you the way you are, or isn't being forthcoming, or wants you to do something that compromises your morals and your integrity, run for the highway. There could also be a Capricorn coming into your life, but the interesting thing with this card in reverse is no matter what this represents, I feel like there's something better. If you're not happy and you don't feel good, hold out. Trust your instincts. Don't sort of like allow your morals or your integrity to be compromised, and know that you're going to get through this. In any kind of core relationship, the devil can just be a fear or anxiety. If you love and trust someone, this is the test for the relationship. Let them see you for your true self, see them for their true self, and see how you feel afterwards, okay? Focusing now on destiny. Impatience. It's the hardest card that we will get, or the hardest emotion sometimes. The reverse of this is just saying be patient with yourself and be patient with others. But particularly, I should say in particular, this is like an Ace of Pentacles because I look at this as a little egg. And in order for an egg to germinate, to multiply, to become an organism, it needs time. And that recipe or pattern, that's kind of like the DNA, right? It's going to require accuracy too. So take your time. Do it right on the first attempt. And however long that takes is perfect. Anybody that tries to rush you is really kind of existing within that devil energy that I just talked about, okay? We have guides coming through trying to patiently guide you. So be patient and tune in as well. All right, we have one final card now. This can be anything that you need some assistance with. Go ahead and ask it. especially since I did a slightly truncated version, but I think everything got answered, which is good. This is my first time going at a new pace, and I kind of liked it. All right, ask your question. And the answer from Spirit is the mirror. This is connected to the hanged man because that's what it is in a traditional spread. So here's your hanged man, here's your mirror, but the mirror is telling you that's what the hanged man provides you, an opportunity to reflect. In the traditional illustration, we see a nimbus or halo, which is enlightenment. When you push through a lesson before you're ready, you skip over the lesson and you have to repeat it. So don't repeat it. Give yourself a moment to reflect upon how you got here, what the next step will be. Sometimes a delay can be a good thing. You can take your extra time to perfect something. You can identify a new path in front of you. You can let go of something. We actually see a funeral pyre in the background. This is going to give you a chance to see something through and also possibly find a way around a challenge in front of you. The delay is a blessing. If you asked a yes or no, it's saying not yet. You need more information. You need more time. It's a necessary pause, okay? That, my friends, is everything for this month. If you enjoyed what you saw here, and I hope you did, do me a favor. It's 100% free. It helps the channel. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to get more information from me, like when I put all the videos out, you can sign up for my newsletter on my website. And from my website, which is nicholasashbaugh.com, you can also follow me across other social media platforms. I'm on everything at Nicholas Ashbaugh for the most part. Any exceptions will be on my website. From there, you can also give back through PayPal or book a reading. And I do one-on-ones. I usually book anywhere between a couple weeks to a few months ahead, depending on the urgency. So you can get more information on my website. Right here on YouTube, you can give back with a sticker on your comment. And I would love to see that. All of these things allow me to continue to show up each and every month. And that, my friends, is everything. Let's give Apollo a pat on the head, and we're going to wrap up. Hey, buddy. Such a good dog. Yes, you are. Thank you for being patient. All right, guys, that's everything for today. Thank you for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Make sure to check out my live streams every Sunday at 9:15 or 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. And I also do daily videos, which are under the Shorts tab here. From my heart to yours, wishing you all the best. I'll see you soon.